Clickstuff is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafe.com. Hey everybody, welcome to Clickstuff today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Want to take a moment to remind everybody that Clickstuff is brought to you by TrollandToad.com. Check out TrollandToad.com for all of your HeroClix singles needs. We've got two things going on with Troll and Toad right now. We got a 5% off HeroClix purchases with coupon code ClickStuff. That's all capitalized. And check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/clickstuff. In the pinned post, we have a free contest for $50 worth of web credit with Troll and Toad. And all you have to do is comment your favorite HeroClix moment and additional entry by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Clickstuff. So without further ado, introduce my co-hosts for today. We got Jason Alvey.
Good evening.
And returning, who has been unclamped, David Gosselman.
I put the pop in Pauper.
And with that lead in, our special guest tonight to talk with us about Pauper and just join the discussion is Chris Cottrill from Lexington, Kentucky.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, hey, welcome aboard, Chris. So, you're pretty much local to us. Lexington and Owensboro are 3 hours apart, but we seem to close that gap pretty much all the time. So, glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, we do see a lot of each other.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about the Lexington Regional, and we're going to talk about the upcoming Big Bang Regional today. We'll talk with Chris about Pauper, and we'll talk about WWE and Black Panther and the Illuminati clicks. So, first of all, Lexington, Kentucky did have a regional this past weekend, with Clickstuff's very own Samantha Powell won. Somebody very near and dear to my heart, at least. So she won with the Hawkeye build in a pretty crazy game. Let's see, I ended up third place with Vulture, and Chris, you ended up somewhere 5th to 8th, I think?
Yeah, I think after the final points, I came in 6th.
Cool. So we had 18 players, but some really good competition. So it was a fun day. I actually lost to you in the first round, but battled my way back to become the first seed. I'm gonna throw that prison tier map in the garbage.
Oh, how I love that map!
Yeah, that door terrain messed me up. I'd only had like 3 rounds on that Vulture team, and I was trying to figure out all the mechanics of it, and that prison tier map messed me up. But
you aren't the one.
Yeah, it was crazy map. It's a really really good map. So, Stephen
Fun
Clark,
fact.
What's that?
My first top 16 matchup was against Chris.
Yes, actually, that was my first major HeroClix tournament. Actually,
Yep, that was my second. We met in the top 16.
Did you win, Dave?
I did. I won that whole thing that day. So.
Yeah, he was playing a skin build, and I was playing a
Bizarro, right?
Utility belt, Bizarro, and Phantom Girl team.
Was Vic at Richmond?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's ancient. That's
That was before the Daniel Powell era.
yeah,
That was before lantern batteries.
yeah.
That was
Everybody's like, so what do you think's going to
shenanigans.
come out with this Deadpool set coming up? It was like the first Deadpool set.
You know what though? Funny enough, I would not be playing competitive had it not been for Chris.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Do you remember that,
Really?
Chris?
I remember that tournament. Yeah, it was a very small tournament, but it was a fun one.
Yeah. So it was at the Lexington Comic Con early 2015.
That sounds about right.
Because it wasn't 2014. Because 2014 is when we started. I'm coming up on 5 years this month. So it was early. Yeah, early
That was
24.
much right after the batteries came out.
Yeah. So the Lexington Comic Con had a 300-point modern tournament, and I think they gave away like a Necron, and it was pretty good prizing. I decided that I was going to try out that tournament to see if folks in other stores would be welcoming to a new player that they had never met, and the guys were completely welcoming. Because you were there, and that gentleman from Louisville was there, and he actually won it.
My friend Trevor was there as well.
Yeah, and then what's his name was running it? The guy from Lexington that, or maybe he's from Northern Kentucky.
He's from Northern Kentucky. I don't recall the name, fortunately.
You know who I'm talking about, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Do I?
Yeah, he played Star Wars minis too.
Jerry Cook?
Yeah, Jerry. I think
There we go.
Oh, no, he's from down south. Yeah,
Oh,
south of Lake. He was from like the London area. Yeah, Jerry. Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So Jerry ran it. But I played Chris and Chris and Trevor, and then the gentleman from Louisville. I forget. He's been to our tournaments before. They were all welcoming, and that's what made me decide that the HeroClix was a friendly enough community to join up and start playing more competitively.
So now we
That's
know
good.
who to blame for unleashing Daniel Powell upon the world.
Damn it, Chris.
That was Neil Berner was the other one.
Neil Berner, that's who it was. Yeah, Neil.
Oh, yeah, I remember Neil. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Chris, we met up in that first round later that year at the Big Bang Super Qualifier that Easton ended up winning.
With the double Corys?
Yeah, I don't think he played. Yeah, did he play the double quarries?
I think so.
Yeah, something like that. I was playing the Cal Rayner with Harley.
Because that's when Easton actually started winning events.
Yeah.
Because before
when he
that, he would only...
Is that when he beat Justin with the orange power battery?
Yes, I believe so. And he had double Corys with, I think, green or something, maybe. Or maybe he had orange. He had orange, too.
When I was
Oh, he was playing like an Omega. Wasn't he playing like Omega Drive on like Greed or something?
No, I think that was later.
That was later on one, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean... Yeah, because up until that point, Easton, had just started winning then. He was getting, second and third and, top four at, everything, but not winning the Super Qs and stuff, and he started winning it.
So.
But, yeah. You were talking about Steven. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just going to say that Stephen Clark Jr. knocked out both Chris and I Saturday.
I mean, I gotta give props to Steven, man. A couple years ago, I'd be like, oh, I'm playing Steven? All right, I'm pretty sure I got this. But now, I think he's really improved in the last, especially year and a half or so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think since he joined up with the CWO guys, he's got someone to bounce ideas off of and, talk about the game with and stuff like that. I think it's done him a lot of good.
I gotta say, we are happy to have him.
Yeah.
So, well, Chris, I do have a alligator question for you, but tell us a little bit about yourself, just personally about HeroClix. When did you start playing, and what's your favorite piece of all time?
Well, actually, this is the second time I started playing. I actually was one of the people I was one of the Whiz Kids judge teams when they were doing Mage Night, and then they introduced HeroClix, and so I got to play that from the word go. But then I kind of stepped away from the game for a while when the comic shop that I was running events in shut down, and just came back to it about the time Superman and Legion of Superheroes came out. So got reintroduced to it by the group that plays in Richmond. They're a really solid casual bunch of players, and got a taste of the competitive scene when Richmond ran its first, I want to say it was a rock. It was the one that David, kind of handed me my butt. But it was a really great time. I found out I enjoyed being competitive, and so that's where I started getting more and more serious about the game. And I forgot the second part of the question.
Your favorite HeroClix of all time?
Honestly, I have to say that it would be the OP Kit Dormammu. I loved that piece. I had a team that I absolutely loved playing that was built around that, and I don't know why. I don't even know that much about the character. I just really like Dormammu.
Yeah. Let's see, that you played that one, I think at one of the last Lexington ones with the yellow battery, didn't you?
Right. It was 250-point Dormammu with the yellow battery. It had Brainiac as a possessor, so that he started off with the world was working like clockwork, and you had a few constructs on there that you could throw out on the mindless ones that he generated, and so he was just really, really hard to hit. He could bury himself behind a wall, and he could reduce penetrating damage.
Yeah, because that was a big deal then with the nick coming off the card at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss possessors. I wish they'd have a few more.
Yeah, I do miss those, but I mean, we get those objects that do everything for 6 points or 4 points or 10 points.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit crazy now with the equipment.
Yeah, for sure. So, Chris, the alligator question is, you are familiar with Mr. Chomps, our mascot, right?
No, actually I'm not. I apologize.
Okay, all right. Well, that's just going to make Mr. Chomps even angrier. Mr. Chomps is our nasty-ass wrestling alligator. You may not know him, but he knows you. We've been talking today, and he wants to know: would you rather wrestle Mr. Chomps, the nasty-ass wrestling alligator, in a match to the death, or start out all future HeroClix matches against OMAs 3 points down?
Ooh, okay. I just got to say I'm not too confident about my alligator wrestling skills, so I think I would have to start points down. But I know how that feels to lose by 3 points because Stephen Clark. Oh man, he's had my number twice now.
So yeah, Mr. Chomps is always ready to go. I think, who was our last guest, Jason? I think they took on Mr. Chomps.
Wasn't that Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon Chastain.
Chastain?
Yeah, he was going to take on Mr. Chomps. So
yeah, so that's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I'm not a brave man. I kind of step back from the alligator.
So, So, Chris, I mean, we've got some questions about Pauper, but I'll just kind of turn it over to you, and you wanted to get on here and talk about Pauper and kind of what you've built up this season with Pauper so far, and what your plans are for the future with Pauper.
Yeah, so we've been running the Pauper circuit since January, which essentially all that was that anybody could run a win-a-map as a Pauper circuit event. There were rules that you could find on the Facebook page, but the essence of it was all uncommons and commons, and that includes all of the game elements without the primes, fast forces, and starter sets. The idea, I have to say, is not original. I do want to tip my hat to the guys at Married with Clicks. I was introduced to their concept of the Everyman Project by James Peters, and really liked the idea, but I wanted to try to get a little bit more steam behind it, so I wanted to set up the circuit, and when I did that, I ran the question by some other players, and ultimately we talked about it, and we thought, well, some of these fast forces pieces get every bit as expensive as some of the really high-end chases sometimes. I mean, the giant girls and the whole while we're getting pretty expensive there. And the goal was to make the game as inviting and as open as possible, and to give some newer players, a gateway to get into competitive clicks. So we ultimately decided that this was how we were going to run the circuit. We've got 1 month left in the circuit, so anybody can send in results to their events no later than 11:59 p.m. on June 1st. And I do have a current points tally up to where whoever has the top 16 points will get an invitation to the championship, which is going to be a 16-player, 3 rounds of Swiss, cut to top 8, and the winner will be, of course, the champion. They will also get a case of whatever booster set they want to get, and we're hoping to have a really good turnout. We're running that event during Origins at Heroes and Games, which is the store that's there inside the convention center. I want to thank Jay Major for helping us get set up there. Also want to thank James Peters for agreeing to be the judge for that event. Hopefully we'll have a really good turnout for it. Being there at Origins, we were hoping that, the Nationals crowd would come by and take a look and see what was going on, and hopefully give us a good push into the second season. In the second season, we are going to be, I've actually got a council that I'm forming from some players from across the country to get a better idea about how to grow and develop the format, and to find out what worked and what didn't work, and try to improve upon it for the second season.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. No, I think we did a win-a-map with the Pauper, and we're doing another one this month if Jason had remembered to order the kit.
Well, we're still going to play. This won't be a win-a-map.
Yeah, we'll still do our event. But no, we've really enjoyed the format, Chris.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I think what's important, and what I think is kind of what I've taken away from it, is it's still a competitive format. You still want to play your best team, put your best foot forward. But the point is that it's affordable for everyone. It's still accessible to everyone. I think,
and that's exactly what we are looking for.
I think maybe, and I'm sure you guys are going to probably look at having Colossals in the format. At least I think that makes the most expensive thing in the format the giant girls.
The uncommon giant girls from
Yeah, I'm looking up right now, and they are up to $7 a piece now.
Oh wow, they jumped up.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as a competitive format goes,
$7 a piece. Oh my god! What are y'all doing to me?
Trying to put you in the
What do you
poor.
mean? What are we doing to you?
I know it.
We have like 50 giant girls between me and Dan, so you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're fine. So I think I actually have 30 giant girls now.
That's just ridiculous.
I have 20. I have 20 of the uncommon ones.
Yeah, I think I'm up to like 30 of the uncommon ones.
What are you like out on the corner letting yourselves out for like giant girls or something?
I think-
I bought them day one. Like
I bought them day one. Yeah, I bought them day one for $3 a piece.
yeah, I think I got them for like 2 something. Yeah.
He's trying to build a Randy Carter harem.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. And I think the other, I don't know, like Jakar's a really useful piece in the format. I don't know if y'all have seen much of that, but he's only like $3 right now.
I've seen him
Has
come up.
anybody tried the Fat Spidey Pauper build yet?
Not yet. At least not that I have seen.
Okay. It's out there.
Yeah, we think that's Syndicate. I think West Coast. I may have heard of one build using it out on the West Coast. There's, of course, Cable. Cable and the X-Men. It has been pretty potent. Not unbeatable, but potent.
Yeah. I think what to me what's important about the X-Men in common and uncommon is there's no free attacks. So while Cable's shooting you, whatever, 14 attack, 6 damage potentially, I mean he doesn't, he doesn't hurt you for attacking him, and he doesn't bust stealth either.
Right.
So there's things like Batman Beyond that's really good, and there's a lot of diversity that's still good within the format.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still figuring out what's good because everybody's so used to playing the meta. This is just a different meta, and it really hasn't solidified yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything that's just really overpowering.
Right.
So
There are times where I feel like if you have a crap ton of giant girls that you have a distinct advantage. I mean, I don't know. It just, sometimes I look across the map and I'm like, okay, well, this person has like 8 giant girls. I mean, what am I going to do against that? I have commons and uncommons. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's just something that I've kind of run into whenever I've played it.
Oddly enough, I haven't seen a lot of issues with the giant girls. Of course, sometimes placement is key as well because one good hit from a Jubilee called in can really wreck the day if they place poorly.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen hardly any builds using her though either. Not Dan played one that time. That was pretty good.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do against it. You're just gonna get wrecked. Too many big ladies.
Yeah, I mean, I played the Giant Girls, but I also have played it where you had to play it 5 actions. So I was pretty much all in on the Giant Girls with that build.
Right, but I mean, like they did win an event, didn't they, in the Pauper? Like one of the first ones. I'm pretty sure that there was a team with a bunch of Giant Girls on it.
Well, I mean, I won with a team with 2 giant girls. It was just an Avengers build. But the real winner on that was the Thor because she got a second attack once if she hit the first attack. Yeah, that's one of the few that have a free attack with it, and it's the Thor that Jane Foster can turn into.
Yeah.
She's a really, really solid piece for Pauper, and then you combine her with the Stasis Spider-Man from Secret Wars, and he's really good for 80 points, and considering how the game is a bit slower than what your standard meta is, so those 2 stasis tokens don't really hurt you too terribly bad with that Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, actually, I played double stasis Spider-Mans on the team that I had played. And 2 turns went up really, really quick.
Yeah, he's really good.
So, we haven't seen a lot of events lately. At least I haven't seen too many lately since Earth X, and then we still got Rebirth out as well.
Yeah, we got 2 events coming up. One here in Lexington and then one out in California that I'm aware of. There may be others in the works, but nobody has sent me any information on them yet.
Sure. Because, man, you've got old Billy Batson and Prez Rickard coming into the Pauper scene.
That Billy Batson is so good for what he does.
Yeah. I had someone say today that Billy was not that great. I'm like, I kind of disagree.
Okay.
I kind of disagree with that.
20 points for Perplex with a stop click. I don't care if he's not turning into Shazam.
Well, now, I would even say, I am bold enough to say, now this is not for Pauper, but a couple of Billies at 40 turning into Shazam is really good. Now, it may not be good enough in the face of Vulture and Hawkeye, but there is something certainly to be had there, having a couple of those Shazams come out.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that's after, it's kind of, if I've had a different opinion to begin with, it's changed a little bit as the set has had some time to sink in, and I've had some time to play around with some different stuff. Yeah, I mean, that Shazam, he comes out at the 100-point line, right?
He comes out in a couple clicks into the 100-point, because he comes out on click 6.
Click 6.
Yeah. And you can't heal him above click 6. You get about 3 clicks out of him, I believe it is.
Oh, so he comes out with the prob.
Yes.
Well, that's even better than what I was thinking.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, yeah, never mind. Sorry, that's no, that's not a Pauper thought, but
That's okay. I mean, the set's still got plenty of good for Pauper there too, because I mean, you're looking at that Power Girl, Uncommon Power Girl, could be a beast, because not only you can boost up her stats, you can choose whether or not you want Perplex or Outwit, and then give her giant reach, and she can carry somebody for you too. At 75 points, yeah, I'll take that.
Oh, that's right, and we've got the common Superman in this set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That Nightwing is pretty awesome too.
Yeah. Nightwing with a mini pick-a power. I mean, there is a lot of good Pauper bait in here.
Man, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love that Superman. I'm still disappointed that this Rebirth will most likely not be the set for Team Nationals.
Yeah, it was pretty good in Seal. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Because I still say this, like, even as a Pauper team, just giving, like, a new player 2 common Supermans in Pauper.
Yeah, it's probably pretty good.
and just say, here you go, 20 defense. Like, if that's all you could tell a new player how to play, that's going to be really good against a lot of things.
Definitely.
So, well, no, Chris, I think we're looking forward to seeing the accessibility of Pauper continue, and I think the Win-A-Map format is an extremely, extremely good way to do the Win-A-Map in a very accessible way. I mean, because you're already paying for the event entry, and there's a lot of good prizes with the Win-A-Map, so you kind of want some sort of what I'd call a bar to be set, I think, even for some of those events. If someone's looking for a way to get into those events and have a standard in which to look at. That's I really like the Pauper format for that.
Yeah, I also want to mention that for that championship match, entry fees into that win-a-map have already been paid for. So the 16 people who are getting invited are getting to play for free.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
Yeah, even better.
How many official events have you run? Do you know? In the circuit.
Offhand, I don't know. I would have to go back and check. I know there have been at least 7. But, you know, of course we were hoping for more, but on the other hand, it's the first season that we've been doing things. So, you know, you got to start somewhere, and we're just going to continue to push forward and see how we can grow it.
All right.
Yeah, that's it's going to be sweet.
Well, it's definitely my favorite of all the pod formats I've heard of.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like the rare. I mean, you know, I mean, I like being able. I'm always a proponent of being able to use my whole collection, but I think where I'm always at with this is that any sort of ban list gets to be too hard to manage. So, like, if you start including, say, rares with a ban list, I'm not totally a fan of that. Like, you don't want to include Shredder Clone as a rare. Stuff like that. That just really becomes too much to manage. Or if you say, well, primes are allowed. Well, there's primes there's primes that are really expensive.
Vulture, Prime Thanos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are, you know, $20 a piece sort of thing in the uncommon and common slots. So, you know, I really like the common and uncommon version of it. It's really made me think about team building and that sort of thing. So it's been a good mental exercise for sure.
And I mean, the thing about it is that it also still allows you to use all of the game components that you could use anyway. It's just a more limited selection. So, you know, you have equipment there, although not a lot and not great equipment, I will admit that. You've got your ID cards. You've got your Colossals in there. So, you know, all the aspects of the game are still there in this format, but you're just a little bit more limited on what you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Let you use stuff that you wouldn't normally play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that about it.
Yes, I can say that I never would play Shifting Focus Wasp typically.
Come on, isn't that on every team you build, Dan?
You know, I did use her in a meta team example where I think I got up to 6 actions in 300 points. Because the Wasp adds an action, Power Woman adds an action, and the Star Trek guy adds an action. I'm trying to think of the Star Trek guy. I know that makes Dave super excited.
It's one of the Klingon guys.
Yeah, it's the title character. Yeah.
Core? Is that his name?
Maybe. Yeah, no, he gets action total +2.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe I got up to 7 because it was 3. No, I got up to more than that because it's 3 actions. Leadership gives you a 4th. Core gets you up to 6, and this may have been before Power Woman came out. Power Woman would get you to a 7th, and Wasp could get you to an. Did I already say Wasp? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get up to 8 actions in a turn.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points that you're devoting to the gimmick, though.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's good. It's just you know, I necessarily wouldn't call it good, but it is a it's one of those things that some of the articles that I write for Majestics that I did this one with the Tribbles article too. A lot of what I think about is just thought exercises, and to that extent, sometimes the thought exercise just has to get see the thought exercise through to the end before I'm satisfied. So I have to think about how far can I take any certain gimmick before I'm satisfied, and in this case it would be 8 actions and 300 points. But you could totally have you could totally have a good build that would use 8 actions and 300 points.
So you like to watch thoughts exercise, Dan?
The what's that? I don't get it.
You don't get it?
I didn't get what you said. I didn't hear what you said.
So you like to watch thoughts exercise?
Oh gosh, I don't do anything with thoughts, David.
You exercise them apparently.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Sure.
Yeah.
He likes to flex that brain muscle, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you end up with some cool stuff, though. It's how you end up with putting Mini Shredder into the open air until he's dead, and then getting that errated. Poor Mini Shredder.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Debatable.
Debatable.
Our bad.
What was that, Chris?
We're sorry. Our bad.
Yeah. So. Well, you guys want to talk WWE next?
Hell yeah.
Sure.
So Chris, how what's your let me ask you this, what's your temperature for wrestling clicks?
Ice cold. I actually had a problem with the Star Trek's clicks, to be perfectly honest. I'm a purist and like my superheroes to stay superheroes.
Ric Flair's the superhero. You know what I mean? Just to some people.
Yeah, there's the thing. I don't know. I'm just not really all that terribly excited about it. Of course, I haven't been big into wrestling in a while, but even so, I don't know. I'm just not all that terribly excited about it.
Yeah, I am certainly excited. Of course, I know Dave and Jason, they're over the moon. So I love wrestling and I love hero clicks, but I want these two to go together like peanut butter and jelly. I don't want them to go together like Diet Coke and Mentos.
Yeah, like I was having that thought
It's
today.
gonna be like peanut butter and chocolate.
That's good too.
That's good. Peanut butter and chocolate's good.
I do hope there is a Roddy Piper piece, just because I need to get that to go with my title belt that I have signed by Roddy Piper.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
There's no Roddy Piper in this particular release anyway.
Probably not. But, I mean, if it works out, they might... I mean, they got plenty of stuff they could release.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tons more.
So let's talk about the expansion or the solicits that we have. So the Rock and Sock Connection starter includes The Rock, Mankind, Stone Cold, Triple H, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and then the expansion packs they talk about, they're going to be $7.99 a piece, but they're non-blind. You get to pick what you want. And then we get the Mixed Match Challenge WWE Ring 2-player starter set that includes Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Finn Balor, and AJ Styles. And then the each of these are listed as their own $7.99 pack. Trish Stratus, Finn Balor, Big Show. Oh shit! I didn't know we're getting the Big Show. Asuka.
I love that genuine reaction.
Asuka, Andre the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Roman Reigns, Undertaker, Kane, Eddie Guerrero, Sasha Banks, The Rock, John Cena, AJ Styles, Ric Flair, and Triple H. And all new, never before seen pack powers.
which like threw a lot of people off, right? Because they're all like, "Is it going to be modern legal? Because it has these new pack powers."
And it is confirmed that it is modern legal.
Yep.
It is absolutely confirmed it's going to be modern legal. So we haven't seen a dial yet, so I don't think we'll see a dial until close to the set release if there's going to be new pack powers.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that there's a power to where you can't be targeted from range. Because none of these characters are going to have range, you know what I mean? They're all, like, fighting with their fists and stuff. So, like, are you going to release an entire set of zero-range characters? They're going to get their butts kicked.
If you can't shoot these guys and they're good close combat pieces, they're going to be pretty busted.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I'm worried that they're either going to be, like, super overcosted and not playable at all, or, like, hopefully they're not going to be super busted, which I really doubt. But, I mean, they got to have something to help out, right? Because, like, I'm sorry, Big Show's not jumping, like, up in elevation and punching you or anything like that. He's going to get picked apart.
Bullshit,
they don't have any more
Big Show can do that.
They don't have any more disadvantage than the other close combat piece.
Right, but, I mean, like, at least, like, close combat pieces in Batman have, like, improved movement and, like, Batman team ability. Like,
how do you know
Andre the Giant ain't hiding. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that... I don't know. I'm just trying to look at it from, like, a perspective, you know what I mean? Like...
Andre the Giant better be an actual giant.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not giant size, then they're just jerking our chains.
you think we'll get a WWE team ability?
I don't know. I mean, I'm interested in what the new pack powers... I mean, the new pack powers would specifically have to be catered to them, right?
They are going to be specifically catered to them.
That's what I'm saying. So they have to be something to where... I don't know.
Wrestling moves. Like,
maybe... Well, I mean, maybe they're balancing effects for those pieces specifically. Or maybe they're... like somebody said, like submissions and pins or something like that, you know? So maybe there's some kind of special in cap or... I don't know.
You can pay your opposing figures by like pinning them. That would be like fantastic.
I guess the real question is which one of these wrestlers is going to have the cosmic keyword?
Oh gosh,
because that'll be the.
I don't know. Is there a Stardust?
I don't think so.
Is there a Rob Van Dam? Because he was always high, so he could have been up in space. But no, I mean, I'm interested to see what the new pack powers are and how exactly they're gonna... I don't know, I just don't want to, like, run my freaking Undertaker out there and have freaking Unimind blast him before he gets to move, you know?
Well, I want to know what the ring does. I mean,
right,
it should be special terrain, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I hope it doesn't have like 4 ropes either.
I would say my thought is I'm really looking forward to my pick-a-power pieces being ready to pick these new colored powers. If they come out at their new colors.
Oh yeah, and they're not just like some kind of special abilities or something like that.
Some sort of new improved movement or something, or improved targeting.
Or like elaborate death trap type thing.
Yeah.
Where it's specific to that set, like they had it.
Right. Or
like spells with Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. Or whatever they had in that. Fusion or whatever the crap it was. But now see, that's kind of what I imagined whenever they said new pack powers. I imagined it was like things like that specifically for that set.
It probably will be.
Now, but on the other hand, if there's new like improved targeting, I can't wait for Regent to pick improved targeting ring.
Improved movement ropes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I guess the only way you can get that Shawn Michaels figure is to buy that starter set, right? Because it didn't say that he's a single figure.
I imagine that Rock and Sock connection will probably sell better. Well, Well, no, because the Mixed Match Challenge ones comes with the ring, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was just the era where most people watched. Like, even Chris said, to get him back in the conversation, he hadn't watched wrestling in a while. I imagine the late 90s was probably one of the eras he watched.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, all those guys in there are ones that a lot of us grew up watching. So I imagine that one's going to sell pretty well.
Yeah. I hope it comes with a Mr. Sacco special object. Right? I mean, come on. You know you want it.
No, I mean, for sure. Right? Oh, man.
Oh, man, that'd be great. So, let's see. When does the solicit say it's coming out?
Does it say?
I thought it said August. Everything says releasing in August.
I mean, so we should be getting info some point relatively soon, right?
No, we probably won't get information until July.
You don't think?
Yeah. I'm gonna be so broke in August. The whole last quarter of the year, I'm gonna be broke as shit.
Yeah.
Like I really don't have a problem with the non-blind boosters. I know a lot of people are having an issue with that. I just don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, true. I mean, I hate that for like $8, but like you know what you're getting. You're not buying one and getting something you already have.
Right, and you know, like Chris said, if there's a Roddy Piper, he doesn't want the whole set, and he doesn't want to have to go buy a whole gravity feed to get a Roddy Piper. You know, and like
if they were blind, Dave would end up with like 5 Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, and then I'd be mad unless he was really good and not unique. But you get what I'm saying is wrestling is kind of different, whereas we get all these Marvel and DC sets. This is the first WWE one, and it kind of like, you know, I grew up, or like Jason watched wrestling before me, so he like still, I didn't ever really watch like red and yellow Hulk Hogan.
You know, like, man, I grew up on that.
I remember him being like NWO and stuff like that. Right? Like, I still knew of him whenever I was younger and he was the red and yellow, but I didn't particularly care about wrestling back then. Like, my first favorite wrestlers were like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and people like that. So, like, you can, you know, so like a guy who's a little older can get like a Macho Man, and he doesn't have to particularly give a crap about getting like a Finn Balor or Roman Reigns. Or like someone who's younger can go get themselves a Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, and they don't particularly care about Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, so
well, that person would be wrong. But
it's a good mix.
Okay. Of course, they'd be wrong, but what I'm saying is like that's why I kind of am not really.
It's a good mix for all the fans out there, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, but I don't want to have to buy a whole case to get, you know, like Roddy Piper or something like that. Like Chris, how mad would you be if you had to buy a whole case to try to pull a Roddy Piper?
I'd just wait for it to show up on eBay.
Right, but you know, some people will get impatient and.
Yeah, you can complete this set way easier and cheaper than you can most sets. So yeah.
That's true, because you could just go in and pick. If there's one piece that's really good, you can go in and just pay the flat $7.99 or whatever for it. You don't have to go try to buy a whole gravity feed to get it, or pay, you know, $100 like the Captain Marvel to get it.
Well, right, but I'm like saying, like, if I wanted to complete the entire set, I can just go buy every individual piece, and I can go buy like 2 cases of Rebirth for like $300 and something, and I still don't have all the damn pieces.
Right, it kind of averages out, I think, in the end.
Yeah, you're going to do it a lot cheaper than that, yeah.
Because if you're missing, like, a couple chases or super rares, you're going to have to go chase them down and trade or whatever, but, like, I don't know.
So
I don't have a problem with it.
Our first WWE-related question comes from Jeremy Stallings. Jerry Stallings.
Jerry Stallings.
Yeah, hey, Jerry. Do we think that the WWE ring will have the same wording as the boxing ring, or will it be completely different?
I hope it's different.
I say it's different.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris? What would you think? What do you think it should be, Chris?
I would be willing to bet that it actually reduces everyone's range to 0.
That could be cool. Or you can't shoot into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting. Yeah.
Can't shoot when you're in it, can't shoot into it. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Of course,
I
they
like
need to
that.
put a cage around it and then say, once you're in, you can't escape.
Well, we all know that's
And
not
enter
true.
one man lead.
We all know that's not the case.
That's true.
That is not how it's booked, Jason.
Yeah, well, you ever seen a steel cage match where somebody didn't get out of the damn cage? Yeah.
That's true.
So, do you think they have a missed? Christian Bojan wants to know. We kind of talked about our favorite figures that we want to use, but he also wants to know: do you think they missed an opportunity for special objects?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them would be kind of pedestrian, or people wouldn't know what they were. You know?
Well,
Like Jason was saying, Mr. Sacco. Like, unless you watch that specific era, you'd be like, why do I care about a sock with a face drawn on it? Like,
Or head.
even if, I guess unless it was really good. Or head, yeah.
Head. A beer.
Yeah.
You could have a beer can special object.
Which I don't think they would
Sledgehammer.
do, but that would be great. Oh yeah, the
Sledgehammer.
sledgehammer would be okay. But I mean, like, we've got
the
so
urn.
many. Okay, so yeah, there's plenty. I don't know. I just feel like they got enough right now. But I guess it couldn't have hurted, right?
Like the Rock's eyebrow could have been an object.
The Rock's eyebrow.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, but I don't know. Like, I think they like. Hopefully, the starter set and stuff comes. If it comes with action tokens, like maybe we'll get some like beer can lights or something, or maybe a table heavy.
Oh man, that could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that like anything could be a special object. Just a very few things, right? Like the Sacco and who was the guy with his pimp cane?
The Godfather.
Yeah,
But
like
he didn't ever really use the. How about Jeff Jarrett's guitar?
Yeah. Or the championship belt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it'd be something that'd have to grant a special ability, right?
Steel chair.
Right. Instead of just, well, I mean, like, a steel chair could just be a light. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
really do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you're
can
not
get-
like you're not.
It should be like +1 damage, +2 damage in close combat.
I mean, like, the urn could be, like, it comes equipped to Undertaker whenever he would be KO'd and said you return, like, click whatever. You know? Or you could equip it, it's like a however many point object, and whenever your character would be KO'd.
An equipable stop pick.
Yeah, basically. But instead of them being KO'd, they just heal up and his pulse wave protected. Because that's kind of what Undertaker would do back in the day with the urn. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there are just very few things I think that would be that you could translate.
Yeah.
The Sacco gives you poison and incapacitate.
You know, it would just have to be something that is essential to the gimmick of the wrestler at that time, you know?
Right, yeah.
So Nathan Deal, we talked about his question. Do you think there'll be new powers or just new abilities? Manny Kinks just has a statement. If there is a hurricane figure, I will poop myself.
Well, you
It better have
don't have to worry about that, Manny.
You won't be pooping yourself today.
No.
I think Jesse Cote is a little bit ahead of his time for the second WWE set. Will the new WWE rules include 50-50 booking?
Oh, they will.
Considering that just came out, Monday on Raw on today's Tuesday?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I didn't watch Raw.
Yeah, so there's a wild card where they can go back between Raw and
I saw
SmackDown. Yeah.
Well, the 50-50 booking is like when one guy wins one week and the next guy wins the other week, and
Okay.
The next week, yeah.
and they just
back and forth,
continuously repeat it. It's like, oh, I got my win back, and it's like, well, nobody comes out looking any good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was. The
Whenever I
wild
said I
card
didn't
thing.
watch Raw, I was expecting one of y'all to be like, well, you know, a lot of people didn't,
Right.
because their ratings are bad.
Right.
And then John Eric Hafford wants to know thoughts on getting a Hulk Hogan's Rocking Wrestling cartoon set, and good and bad guy set. Throw me in a Captain Lou and good to go. Jason, I'm just going to go ahead and assume this falls under the old guy wrestling stuff.
Yeah, this was like back when I was a kid. Like this is
Back in my day.
Yeah, they had an animated Hulk Hogan Rockin' Wrestling cartoon. They had like Captain Lou Albano and Hulk, and I forget who else.
Get off of my lawn.
A bunch of the wrestlers at that time. Yeah, it's before your guys' time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So
it was on Saturday mornings, man. It was on. Awesome.
Back when that was cool. Back when Saturday morning cartoons was a thing.
You probably know who Captain Lou Albano is, do you?
No, I can't say that I do.
Yeah, he was a manager back in that time frame. Pretty big guy. Long curly hair.
Hey, Roddy Piper was in that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
I do remember him as a cartoon character for some reason.
You should look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to do that. Chris, Chris just as a hard segue. I realized I forgot to ask the Pauper questions from the comments today. So we'll let's do those real quick, and then we'll talk about Black Panther.
Can I interrupt real fast?
Yeah, you're fine. Go for it.
All right, this is the synopsis for that show, the Hulk Hogan show.
All right.
This is October 19th, 1985, Season 1, Episode 11, Rock in Zombies. A trip to Bobby the Brain Heenan's wrestling-themed amusement park turns into a nightmare as Hulk and the gang must prevent a zombie invasion. Does that not sound fun?
George Romero wrote that episode.
Did he really? Oh, you just messing with me? I was about to say, that would be crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty old. I was in kindergarten that year. It's pretty old, man. Yeah.
I wasn't even born yet.
Wow.
So, it sounds like we answered Joe Gutierrez's question in the comments here. There was one or two other ones. Chris Stockhouse asked, would a ban list work for Pauper if a piece became too prominent?
I mean, we haven't ruled out that possibility, but to be perfectly honest, I'm really anti-ban list, especially with the way the format's sitting right now. I don't see anything that really deserves it. I can't say that in the future something will not come up that just completely breaks everything, but it would have to be pretty drastic.
Yeah. And Chris and I were talking about ban list on Saturday, so he was giving me a little bit of a hard time about that. And then Zach Strong wants to know, he says he loves the Pauper format. How many iterations of rules did you go through before you settled on where they are now? And then are there any changes you've thought about making, such as allowing rares or fast forces or starters?
Well, really, rules went through 2 to 3 iterations. It was just a little bit of a refining process. We first had to consider whether or not we were allowing the fast forces stuff. The original version was the version that I knew of first was fast forces and commons only, and we kind of stepped away from that one for the very reasons that we talked about on the fast forces pieces. But 2, just commons was going to be really, really restrictive as far as what you were going to be able to build. And to be perfectly honest, with the distribution of uncommons in HeroClix sets, it really didn't make a whole lot of difference as far as prices are concerned on pieces if you included the uncommons. So we ran that past the folks who were interested in the original format and saw what they thought, and they liked it. As far as upcoming changes, we're always looking for ways to improve. I can tell you one thing that we are discussing for the next season is actually removing the modified pieces from the format, just because there didn't seem to be a lot of interest in that aspect of it this season. But of course, we're going to talk about it before we decide unilaterally to get rid of that.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, that's some great insight. So, I tell you what, we're looking forward to whatever you change and trying it out. So,
yeah, you'll probably see after the championships in June, we're probably going to take 2 to 3 months to discuss everything, figure out, like I said, what worked, what didn't work, and better ways to publicize it, and then move forward with a whole new season and get people started earning points as quick as we can.
So, let's talk Black Panther and the Illuminati a little bit. As usual, we'll do our full set review. Probably, we want to probably get it out before Nationals, but it's going to be a pretty crazy amount of week there. So I'll be having a kid at some point here really, really soon, so our Black Panther review, we might have it broke up into a few different phases here, depending on how
we have a pre-release.
And we have a pre-release
starting on the 23rd.
Yeah. So those are starting up pretty quick. So we'll be able to get pretty good amount of the set listed by then. So
yeah.
So I think I just have like a few things that I'm thinking about already on the set, and I think I've commented some of this, but I'm really hoping that we can see if there is another. It didn't have to be a chase, but another character that is the Cosmic Cube bearer, like Kobik is. So Kobik is 115 points to wield the Cosmic Cube. And if there's another character that's like Kobik that's allowed to start with one of the Cosmic Cubes and that it's playable, then I am willing to say that the OMA is now dead. In that the Cosmic Cube has the... and we got to actually preview this piece, so it's up on our Facebook page. The third option of that one is given an action token to an adjacent opposing character if you can't deal them 1 damage. So certainly you can play it with Cubic and a loose Cosmic Cube and equip it. But if there's someone that can start with it that's good, I think it's even better. You can just go adjacent to any OMA, and as soon as you do, you give them action tokens, and they are locked out of the game. So I'm really
automatic in cap.
Yep, automatic in cap, and you can play 2 of them as it is. Because you can play it on Cubic, and then you can play 1 loose. But I much rather, for speed perspective, from a speed perspective, to just play someone that it starts with. So that's my biggest thought right now. So I'm anxiously waiting to see if there's another Cosmic Cube bearer in the set. But I also realize that means that folks are going to have to get 2 unique chases to get 2 Cosmic Cubes. So I can see that getting pretty expensive pretty quickly. Especially right before Nationals.
Yeah, it's going to be the Wild West out there.
Chris, are you going to go to Nationals? I assume you are.
I am. In fact, I was happy to find out that I actually have the points to qualify, so but I'm still going to probably play in a grinder or two as warm-ups.
Right. So, you think you're going to play X-Men or try to get something put together for out of the Black Panther set, or do you not want to say?
I don't mind saying I feel comfortable with the Wolverine Swarm. It's been doing fairly well for me. Out of the last 5 events that I've made the top cut on 4 of them. I know how the team plays. I know its weaknesses as well as its strengths. So, I just need to tweak here and there. I definitely need to tweak after this past weekend.
Yeah, nothing wrong with making more tweaks. That's not a problem at all. So, no, I think it's cool. I was talking about one of these objects would have been really good on a Wolverine. And I don't know if they've got it in here yet or not. I don't think they have it. Actually, I think I like the power gem on a Wolverine.
And give it in close combat expert.
Yeah, I actually just like the power gem on a lot of things for 10 points. If you think about it, like modify damage +1 for 10 points, like the cheapest perplex is Big Tony at 15. So a character that you may not normally put an object on, but you would have a Big Tony, that's a pretty good situation. And then close combat expert and range combat expert are not inconsequential at all. But yeah, we just got the cosmic or the power gem today.
And then the possibility for the penetrating damage at the end is bad.
Right. Yeah, I like that too. And it can potentially make things with range that don't quite have enough damage valid as well. Nobody really particularly coming to mind at the moment, but there's plenty of options out there.
Sounds fun on the collector.
Right, yeah, well, if the collector steals it, right?
Right.
Yeah, the collector will love to steal it. Collector is one of those pieces that's just immediately good. He's just the fact that, here's the thing that makes him good. Let's just say he's 55 points with the cosmic keyword, right? So if you just put him and Trey Lane together side by side, they both are really great. 50 points calls out most everything relevant. So that makes him instant go up in the I should look at this category. Collector can start with the reality gem, which we don't know what the reality gem does yet. But for 5 points, if it does anything like the power gem does. So what were the other gems? We've just seen the space gem. So it did modify. It did pretty much what the AI set did, but we did not get the reality gem bearer in Avengers Infinity set. So for 5 more points, whatever it does is most likely worth it. And the fact that the collector can steal other characters' objects and equip them to himself, that's just really, really good. And then on top of that, he can go up to an 18 impervious if they include ID cards, equipment, special terrains, and location bonuses.
That's pretty much every team.
So every team currently out there in competitive. So an 18 impervious for 60 points essentially. And then he's got incap, and he can unequip objects from opposing characters using his incap with an 11 attack. And he's power cosmic. So I'm not seeing any downside to the collector being instantaneously playable.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of teams just operating with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely worth it.
And he fits well with Mr. Oz, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I would say we did get a question about Mr. Oz from... Let me get back over to that tab. I was looking at the points. We got a question from Mr. Oz, or not from Mr. Oz, about Mr. Oz, from Matthew DePaz. What kind of teams will Mr. Oz be playing a big part on going forward? And what kind of characters will Kubik make the best use of her rewrite history trait? So let's talk about Mr. Oz. I played Mr. Oz on my Vulture team Saturday, and absolutely 100%. I was on the fence about a 40-point character with 2 clicks playing it, and 100% Mr. Oz is the truth. It totally stops the Jean Grey TK trick. It takes them back from 11 square to the 7th square. And Chris, I was just realizing this. I forgot to make you roll hyper time.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so that's. I think he's the first character in Modern to have hyper time. I can't even tell you the last one before.
Super Doom.
Super Doom. Wow, that was really quick, Jason, and you were very excited about that.
Yeah, I just remember that very clearly.
I guess technically it was the LE Booster Gold.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't know he had it.
Yeah, and then Super Doom, and then Trinity War Prime, The Outsider. So, if you can remember to make your opponent roll hyper time, that's very useful as well. So, yeah, Mr. Oz is definitely the truth. 12 range prob that ignores everything with the cosmic keyword. I don't know. I can just see. I think to answer his question, I can just see Mr. Oz on any team. A cosmic team for sure, but on a random non-theme, Mr. Oz can be great on that too. He's just absolutely a great piece. I have no problem playing Mr. Oz at 40 points. In the second part of the question, what kind of characters will Kubik make best use of her rewrite history trait? Have you guys thought about that very much yet?
Not a lot. Captain Marvel comes to mind, but
yeah. So I think the craziest trick that I have in mind for that would be involving Captain Marvel. I'll run that down real quick. Let me pull that up. So if you start out with the shifting of the title Chase Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers Fearless. At -4, you can replace Carol Danvers with the Shifting Focus Captain Marvel. So that's the 001 or the 010 Captain Marvel. So 75 points, you bump it up to a 100-point character, and then you can use Kubik's Rewrite History trait to replace that Captain Marvel with the Ultra Chase Captain Marvel. And then once Captain Marvel revives everybody, Kubik, based on the new rules that come in on the 11th, Kubik can rewrite history again and change the Ultra Chase Captain Marvel back into the Shifting Focus Captain Marvel. I think I said all that right. Is that how I explained it, Jason?
That seems correct, yeah.
I am a big fan of bystanders, and so I just kind of like the idea of starting off with Earth X Iron Man and get out 3 Iron Avengers and then switch him to a more offensive piece.
Mm-hmm. So
probably not good, but interesting.
Yeah, if there was and I looked at Iron Man. If there was a 125-point Iron Man that was super good, then I like that quite a bit. So I don't even know if there's quite a Iron Man that would work with. But there's always more Iron Mans coming out, right? So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be an Iron Man or two in the Illuminati.
Yeah, maybe there's one. Maybe that one holding the gauntlet on the packaging.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, there might be some good Pog shenanigans with that. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be fun. Let's see what else we got here. Question-wise, I want to go through the Illuminati questions first. We got a random question from Tyler. I think really our last Illuminati question is Justin Harrington wants to know, what is your opinion on the Hood, knowing what Jim's gauntlet we have so far? So the Hood, I actually like the Hood. I'm glad we got a better Hood than we did in Avengers Assemble. The Hood is a super rare, right?
Believe so.
They don't have him added on Realms yet. How? Oh no, here he is. Never mind. So the Hood can +5 start with any Infinity Gem equipped, and +15 he can start with any Infinity Gauntlet equipped. If the Hood is equipped with a Infinity Gem, make sure I read this right. If the Hood is equipped with an Infinity Gem, remove it from the game without scoring it, then equip him with a different Infinity Gem from outside of the game. So I like.
So that's your Cosmic Cube wielder right there, right?
The Cosmic Cube, I don't think is an Infinity Gem.
Is it not? Okay. There's that and a Space Gem, isn't there? Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though that's what it is. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be ruled as the word has got to have the word gem in it. Sadly. But no, I like that he can switch to whatever gem is best used for the game or best used for the match. So the other part of his trait was interesting. When an opposing character rolls for leadership and the result is 1 or 2, remove an action token from the Hood. So the Namor that was previewed today had that as well. Is that a comics thing, Jason or Chris? Do you guys know?
Say it again.
The rule as the world burns.
It's been a while since I've read that story. It's been a while. I remember that, but I don't remember the specifics. Because he had assembled. I can't even get the whole gauntlet. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I didn't read that story, so I'm not really terribly familiar with it.
Right.
Yeah, my comics now was just bailing me on that one today.
Gotcha. So, but I like
much
that.
Like the games I build, I read obscure comics.
So then his movement power is when the Hood is equipped with any of the listed Infinity Gem, he can use the following effects: Space, Passenger 4, Power is the once per turn when he moves after resolutions he can make an attack, and Reality is Stealth. If the Hood or an adjacent character occupy a clear square, lines of fire to them are also hindered. If he's equipped with the Infinity Gauntlet, he can use all of the effects. So, I think my thought here out the gate is go ahead and get the Hood in your collection for cheap. I don't know, and this is based on not knowing the whole set. I don't see him being useful right out of the gate. And I'll explain why. 95 points or 110 points, 95 is the real number here, is not terribly useful as an ID card battery just yet.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
Right, but whenever Asgard Storm comes out as a Con LE later this year, that's where things in this point value shine even greater. So that's like the hood, that's like cubic. You'll be wanting a little bit more point value in your ID card battery. So that's really my thought, Justin. Go ahead and get the hood while he's cheap on his set release, because I foresee him going up in price. And he was a unique too, right? I think. I'm not going to say that for sure.
I can't tell by the picture.
Yeah, so it may not be, but I don't foresee that you'll need multiple of that guy. So I wanted to just look at, and we're not going to. Alex and Tyler covered the con previews, I think, on the last Sudden Death. So go over there and take a look at them. We'll probably cover them a little bit closer to release, whenever the commentary will be relevant to their release play time. So you guys have any other thoughts on Black Panther at the moment?
No, I don't know. I can't wait to get a hold of it. I was happy to see they're putting some more of the BC Avengers in the chase slots. I just want to finish that team out.
Yeah, because we got Starbrand today.
So now we just need a Black Panther and a Phoenix. So if they're going to split the chases half and half again, then we should finish the team out.
Yeah, or we'll get Phoenix in the animated series set, maybe.
Maybe. I hope not. I hope they just give it to us now.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, I don't really want to see them though half and half. I want more of these. I want more of these objects.
So does everybody think that now the Ultra Chase is going to come with one of the objects? Is that what people are saying now?
Yeah, that's pretty much the math points towards that.
Man, that's probably going to be expensive as hell.
I kind of wish they would start spreading out the objects amongst the rarity some.
Yeah, Mighty Thor did a pretty good job of that.
I'd like to see some common and uncommon items pop back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, I think I made this comment after after Nationals last year, and while I agree with you, Chris, I also agree that it's a good business decision to include the playable objects as chases.
Yeah, I mean, from a business perspective, it makes perfect sense. I mean, you want to sell product, and that really, really pushes the product to be sold.
Yeah, so good or bad, I mean, it's driving people to buy more product, which in turn keeps them producing more product. So it's almost like a catch-22, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's an unfortunate for my wallet catch-22.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
But we'll all probably go chase them down.
Yeah, I probably will. I'll have to go sell my soul for some money or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just start selling out Jerry Stallings.
Yeah, right. I'll just start pimping him out on the corner there.
Exactly.
It's going to be an expensive last half of the year.
Right. So, Tyler Spees wants to know, do you think a good change to ID cards would be that they don't vanish after getting so far away? It seemed to be put there initially with the intention to limit them, but has had the opposite effect and has made them much less risky.
That's interesting, especially with the point cap and the 400 points automatic loss now.
No, because that doesn't make them any better. It doesn't make them less risky because we have bounty ID cards.
Well, that's true. No, we don't have them for all of them, though. They're not 3 points either.
Right. But, I mean, I think that, no, that makes them more too powerful. Because there is ID cards that, especially some of the running shot pulse wave ID cards that have a big range that are too hard to make a single target pulse wave happen within 5 squares, but if you can have them go 6 or 7 squares, a single target pulse wave is much easier. Now that I know what that was really common with. Now I realize this is an older one, but the Quasar from Nick Fury or Age of Ultron, one of the two, had that problem where he had a 5 range pulse wave, so he could never get a single target off on anything.
So you don't think the extra points just hanging out there for a few of those are a big deal?
No, because you can always sidestep carry the ID card battery off the board. Or I mean,
well, he's saying they wouldn't go away at all.
They wouldn't go away at all. Oh, I got you now. Not
he's saying they wouldn't go away at all. Yeah, he's saying you wouldn't be able to poof them off the map to, like, not get retaliated on, or just so they can't score the points off that character by killing it.
Yeah, then I would just say that would just switches you to playing bounty ID cards.
For what you can, but there is no Cyclops bounty ID card.
Yeah, but then you just don't play it.
Well, there you go. Well, that still makes a big difference because everybody packs a Cyclops or two.
Yeah. Well, it just changes.
I'd have to see it in practice myself. That's those things where it's an interesting idea and it might have a big effect, and then again, it might not. So
Yeah. But I think the bigger thought of having more reach on some of those IDs is also a bigger deal. I mean, the reach limits their power, right? Because at least my dude calling it out has to be within 5 or 6 of you. I realize that Cyclops has 8 range and all this other stuff, but I can't just call out a Superman and then TK him out and then hypersonic the other side of the map and kill your guy. And you're reasonably not going to kill Cyclops in a turn. Same thing with the new Magneto that's coming out at Origins. You call him out on the Headmaster ID at 250 points. You're highly unlikely to kill that guy.
I mean, just based on that thought process, my personal look at it would be, you're trading one problem for another, so one thing is, either way, you're going to have a bad result. You're going to have good and bad out of it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you. So Alex Coos wants to know, what do you think? What will it take for you guys to play in more Rock Online events? Chris, have you tried out Rock Online?
I have not. I have not been able to find the time between all of my many projects to be able to do it.
I mean, it's really sweet. I've played in a couple of events. Jason doesn't have a computer, so he can't play in them. So, if anybody has a computer they would like to donate to Jason Alvey. No, I'm just kidding. So, no, it just really comes down to time for us. Friday nights, I actually try to have to be HeroClix free. If you can imagine that.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah. And then Thursday was our weekly Clicks event, so we didn't play in them then. I'll probably try to get into a Tuesday one next week. So, anyways, let's wrap up with some final thoughts. Dave, you still there? Dave kind of blacked out on us.
Yeah, I'm here. I just kind of was letting y'all do your thing.
You kind of blacked out on Black Panther there.
Yeah, I really haven't done much research. I've been so swamped. It looks fun though. I like the hood, so we'll see what happens.
What's your final thoughts for today?
Mangog.
There it is. Classic.
Classic.
Gotta go back to the classics.
Straightforward and to the point.
So, what about you, Chris?
Not much like Mangog.
What's your final thoughts for today?
Well, my final thoughts for today is that there is still time for you guys to run Pauper events. So anybody listening, go ahead and talk to your venues, ask them to schedule one. And as long as we have the results in by 11:59 on June 1st, you can get some Pauper points and qualify for the championships at Origins.
Cool. Jason?
Come visit us at Big Bang on May 25th for our regional.
Did I not say the date of our regional? Dang.
No, we did now. So there we go.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for being on today, Chris, and joining some our little time of madness here. So we'll look forward to seeing you on the 25th, and hopefully some other folks will come out. So thanks, everybody, for listening to Clickstuff, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.